Welcome to ISRA League's Grand Touring Championship, brought to you by the Z1 SimWheel LCD Display Software. Head to z1simwheel.com and you can get software to display all these dashboards and telemetry displays on your computer. You can also purchase the LCD display hardware, as well as a fine selection of really cool wheels. Well, we're coming into race 3 here with the drop week in effect, so Brian Carey and Dolgen Boldrin are tied for first place. Then Andy Fuller is there in 3rd, Ryan Huff in 4th, Daniel Santos 5th, Arthur Hermo in 6th, Daniel Quaroni 7th, and Victor Beltran, actually Daniel Quaroni and Victor Beltran 7th, and Jeremy Burris and was it Mike Keller? I don't remember. Anyway, same thing in GT3 here. We've got Daniel Maness and Lauren Bateman each tied for first. John Middleton and Tim Stoll are tied for second, or third rather, third and fourth. Then we've got Matthew Voigt just 1 point down from there, and Todd Carver just 1 point down from him. So really the standings are incredibly close at the moment, and it's absolutely anyone's championship. So, race 3 here is at Mid-Ohio. I'm Daniel Quaroni, and with me here, eating dinner, is Anthony Muniz.
It's so good.
And Brian Carey, not eating dinner.
That's what you think. Anyways, we're onto the track map here. It's a multi-class here. We get various configurations of Mid-Ohio sports car course, but as you can see, the one we're using right now, a lot of elevation changes, tight corners, really fun to drive. It's going to be difficult in the multi-class, especially from turn 4 around China Beach through the S's and down through Thunder Valley. That'll be pretty tight there, as well as a carousel as well. From turn 13, the final corner, through turn 1, turn 2, and all the way down to turn 4 will be good opportunities for the faster class to pass the slower class, but all in all, a good track.
In qualifying, we've got Andy Fuller on pole with the HPDs, the 111.639. Anthony Muniz is next to him, almost got his time. Brian Carey and Dolgen Boldrin, there we go, something like that, are on third row, and man, that was quick, and didn't get to the fourth row.
GT3, Verness on pole with well ahead of Stoll. Lauren Bateman, Javier Torres on the second row. Chuck Chambliss, Luke Poulin on the third. Mike Young, Michael Mitchell, Weirick on the fourth, and a couple others on the fifth.
Yeah, notice there on the behind the timing there, people are already knocking over pylons because why not? It's the pace. There, look, geez, come on, guys.
You're just making a mess.
That being said, I should point out there's one right in the middle of the track. If you run over one of those in some of the cars, it can get stuck into your front wing and cost you massive amounts of time. Oh, look, it disappears. It disappears after a while, and they'll magically eat cold beer there as well, and sandwiches. Oh, man. Anthony's got dinner right now, but I could go for some cold beer, soda, and sandwiches. Anyways, so you don't want to run over those because there's another one. Jeez, guys, this is just... We'll have to speak about this
in the next briefing.
Not to run over the thy lines because I could honestly screw up someone's race pretty badly, and I would have to punch in places if that lap 1 my race was basically tanked because someone thought it'd be funny to run over pylons.
Yeah, and it's not hard to do because I think I got pylons stuck in the front nose of my car maybe 3 times during practice here, and I wasn't even trying to hit the cones.
Also noticing in the front row here, Andy Fuller in the Google-sponsored Kaiser Rennsport machine, Audi-powered. Anthony Muniz now has a awesome new paint scheme there, the black and red. Mercedes-powered for some reason. He changed engines and didn't tell us, but we'll worry about that later. I'm sure they both work just fine. We're coming up to the green flag.
And you can see everyone's... Oh, wow! There was some contact there, and Dolgen Boldrin got almost shoved right off the track from it.
So phantom contact, as you can clearly see about 4 feet between us.
Yeah, Buddy's running wide. Bunch of cars running wide. Somebody is spinning in the background.
That was a big one.
Wow. Well, it's a wreck there in the HPDs. Few cars involved. And slow going down into turn 2. Oh, someone else off there in turn 2.
You know why? Because someone hit a pylon on the pace lap.
I didn't realize it was that messy. Wow.
Hey, who was that went off there? I didn't see that in the back. I just missed it. It was a HPD, is what I could tell, but it was really fast and looked like a pretty big hit.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the standings at the time, and whoever it was fell way back, but I thought they were like a white and red and black car. At any rate, we have some battling here between Mitchell Weirick and John Kuzlin. John Kuzlin is ahead, but he just kept it together. And because of that section of the track and its tightness and its curviness, there just was no opportunity for Mitchell to take advantage of his very large amount of tire smoke.
Dan does enjoy the tightness and the curviness.
Yes, I do.
We're only not even 2 minutes in, Brian. That was quick.
It happens when it happens. Anyways, Matthew Voigt back there. Now we come back to the mid-pack of the HPDs with our ladies' man Coroni here coming into the keyhole on the inside of Arthur Herman. Doesn't quite make it.
Leandro Schmidt was the driver in the HPD that went full circle around exiting turn 1 and into the tire barrier on the left side. He is out of the race, I believe, unfortunately, so his race ending very quickly.
Sadly, had a few races like that in the McLaren last year, very quickly, Andrew, but it's kind of hard to drive a car fast when you're picking tires out of the radiator. So hopefully Leandro will come back strong for our next race. Oh, nice new camera shot.
Where is the radiator on this car?
They're in the side pods, I believe.
And whatever Daniel Benefield has a lot of grass in his, because he just went off the track and put a bunch in there. We had a nice good shot on who's on board with Brent Browse right now, who's running a little wide there, and you can hear a car beside him. I think he's held the position, but a nice shot of the new onboard there, just in the front nose. There we are. There's Daniel Benefield. It's a good new shot. Get a little bit of the front body work there.
Camera is courtesy of Anthony.
Hopefully we get to see a few more of those here, just to mix things up a little bit. Yes, Anthony, what he did there was you think it was a computer fix, but no. He physically went to each one of these cars and make sure he placed it, secured it with special duct tape and maybe screws of some sort, I'm not sure. But anyways, now we have Jeremy Burris there in the Turn 1 Heroes car behind John Kelly in the number 6, because you can see it on the front of the car, the big number 6.
And we're watching GT cars here. Weirick and Middleton both battling here for 9th place. Just going back to the HPDs, we saw a couple guys struggling going into turn 1. That's because the tires are very cold here. We didn't really point it out in the pre-race little bit, but the weather is quite cold. There's no sun. It's very overcast here. Also, humidity quite high. I believe we're at 96%. So this is really the first race where weather is going to have a big effect here, especially in the HPDs. In practice, everyone was having a pretty tough time getting temperature into the tires, so especially after that very slow pace lap, the tires basically had no temperature in them. There's not much that we can do during that pace lap to heat the tires like you see in F1, where they heat the brakes and try and swerve to get as much temperature in. So look out for maybe some extra slips and spins there, as who's that? Javier Torres moves up in front of Lauren Bateman to take 3rd place. Torres is, I believe this is his first or second race here. Definitely first season in GTC. He's having a strong race.
Looks like Chambliss had some problems exiting 1, and Rupulin is on the inside, going to 2, and gets by no problem.
Man, don't you think Chuck did a really good job with the paint on his car there? I'm starting to think he did
I do think he did.
So good. So good.
Just so those listening, we're not being sarcastic towards Chuck at all for complaining. His paint scheme is actually nice. He seemed to take exception with Anthony pointing out that he could have done a better number plate on the car, which he's working on. Don't worry about it. He is working on it. He did take that to heart. But anyways,
it is a great paint scheme. But next time, Chuck, I recommend that you let the paint dry before you drive the car real fast, because I think you got some streaking there.
Jeez. Anyways, now we got John Middleton back behind Weirich there. One of the things Anthony was pointing out too, and you can see it when Lauren had his mistake about a lap previous here, and you can see these cars right now. Same issue with the McLarens as well, as getting heat with the tires. They'll get there. The McLarens in particular, I think, will get there no problem. And the LMPs too, it's going to take a lot longer than we're used to. So the behavior characteristics of the car, especially early in the run, are a lot different. And this is, like I say, Anthony said, we had wind before we've dealt with. The temperatures haven't been that different, but I think with the humidity and the temperature, we're going to see a lot of varying performance of these cars. That, as you can see, Tim Stoll here, who's normally pretty handy around here, was struggling with the car through there, running pretty wide, trying to keep that underneath. I'm still quick, mind you, but you see these McLarens and LMPs snaking around and sliding a lot more than we're used to.
Yeah, that's something that really started last season. I love it, though. I love that the tires are noticeably different from the beginning of the run to the middle of it.
Yeah, because iRacing's weather had been pretty stable for the existing. Oh, rear witch is around, and Middleton is following him backwards, and that's not going to be good for the rear wing. He backed into the top of China Beach there, so that was a cool camera shot watching him follow down the S's here. But yeah, no, like I was saying here is, oh my God, what was I saying?
You were saying about how the temperature and the weather, and the tires.
I'm sure it was an awesome point too, but because we got so used to the way that iRacing weather was, it was stable for the whole existence of iRacing. So, I mean, whatever type of performance you had, the start of the run, end of the run, is very predictable. Now it's just not as predictable anymore, and you're going to see some variation from the start to the end of the run. Finding the colder temperatures, the cars are a lot more squirrely, and they start coming in a lot more towards the end of the run when the tires are worn, as opposed to the higher temperatures that will perform very well in the first couple laps, but then slowly start to degrade after that as the temperature builds up in them. So I'm not sure exactly how humidity and all that plays into it, but it sure does, and the LMPs are now lapping slower cars.
Ooh, and briefly 3 wide there, exiting turn 2 as Middleton and Jeffries here fight for 9th place. That is the LMP of Ryan Huff that was making his way past.
I also may think the colors are a little more dull here too, but that is due to the overcast nature of our weather, so you're not going to get a lot of direct sunlight. There's very few shadows being shown right now.
That's some great driving between these two GT drivers.
I'm sure the 3 LMP2 cars behind them are just screaming at their screens to please go single file again so we can actually pass.
I was one of them, and I didn't mind being able to catch up with Arthur right there, though.
Yeah, see, that's why, have a track like, say, Daytona or Montreal, which we've ran the last couple of races, where there's a lot of straightaways, a lot of places to pass. It's a totally different ball game here, and really managing the traffic at Mid-Ohio is such an important part.
Yep.
And not crashing.
Yeah, and speaking of managing traffic there, Jeremy Burris in the number 85 took advantage of traffic with John Kelly, was able to get by for 8th position as Kelly decided to try and follow, I believe it was John Middleton, through the final carousel. John Kelly going to take a peek
making a move on the inside. It's probably not successful because we cut away from it and are now watching Sam Dignan and Ryan Huff.
Right, Huff bold move to the outside here going into China Beach. Let's see if he has the momentum to carry him around to help the inside for the next part of this corner here.
Oh!
And he has the momentum, but unfortunately Dignan is now into the wall. Now that's a common accident there, unfortunately, for Sam. He was out there, Ryan just got a little bit squirrely, and it looked like a touch of net cold there because I don't think Sam should have gone flying into the wall that hard.
And I actually don't think they actually touched on our screen anyway. They may have on one of their screens, but yeah, there's some funky net code going on there as well.
And Jeremy Burris has remained ahead of John Kelly.
And he's right on the tail of Daniel Coroni. He's only 3 tenths behind him right now, so...
Yeah, Brian Carey is less than 3 tenths behind me as we are lapping... Who is this? Timothy Stoll. So we're just about all the way through the GT cars.
Tim Stoll making sure it breaks extra late with the outside. It's one of those times, like I say, I was talking to Dan before the broadcast, really can't wait to get my hands on an Oculus Rift headset because situations like that really do call for it, just to make sure that you're not turning in on anyone in those tight situations.
Benefield getting a better run off the corner because of traffic. He gets by John Kelly there.
No, not yet.
Yeah, he's by. Oh my gosh, 3 wide into that corner. That was bold on Daniel. Oh no, and contact. Big contact between Kelly and Benefield. But it looks like Benefield is going to keep going. I don't see any noticeable damage, so he might have gotten away all right on that one.
China Beach is the place where LMPs go to die, unfortunately. That's the second incident we've seen there in as many laps.
On board here with Tim McLeish in 12th place has Lance Snyder just up in front. Lance Snyder running the number 666, but no longer has the Iron Maiden livery on his car, so not quite as fitting, I don't think.
Yeah, I know there's ties in it. There's contact everywhere. That was Daniel Coney going around the outside. Javier Torres.
No, he was on the inside. He was on the inside, just ran a little bit wide.
However it was, Javier Torres took advantage of that. A little bit of contact with Tim Stall as he came through, but now they're going to be battling into the next corner. Let's see. Tim's not going to want to give way now.
Oh, contact.
Well, that finished that, I guess. China Beach. One more time. We're 3 for 3, guys. See if we can do another lap with this contact. Hopefully the cars are all right. I mean, they might suffer a little bit of damage here, but on Torres' round.
Yeah, I think he might have some suspension damage.
It's one of those things. Sometimes you get away with the side-by-side stuff, and it's fantastic. It promotes good racing. Other times the suspension goes all out of whack, and sometimes the lightest of contacts, and it really just ruins your day.
And there's John Kelly, so he has continued on. No major visible damage on his car, so that means that he hopefully got away with that contact and is able to continue on at full speed, quite far down the field, past 12th position, so we can't actually tell exactly where he's at the moment, but hopefully he can make his way back up.
Who's the 060? Oh, it's Javier Torres is the 068. He's in the pits. Kayuska is our IRSA. Oh my god. ISRA. Brain broke Brian Word's letters mixed up. Anyways, ISRA admin Colin McLean, who's not racing with us right now, is normally the number 68, so I'll have to get used to the 068 being Javier Torres. John Middleton and John Kuzlin. John's heading for the corner. It looks like Middleton will have it. Not sure if Kuzlin can come back at him, but it looks like Middleton had the pass completed well enough, and going into the S's here, looks like he should be able to hold that, which the McLaren I think is a little inferior to the 4GT in this section, but I think John Kuzlin will not have an easy time getting past him here. Coming down to long straightaways, it looked like Middleton will have the corner, but that being said, Middleton makes a mistake. Kuzlin will have it back, and there it is.
Yeah, and that is a very easy... Oh, and Middleton loses 2 positions there. The second one to Marty Jeffries. That is such an easy place to make a mistake. You're fighting on the limit of grip because you're going over that rise, trying to get on the power as early as you can, but can't do it too early, otherwise you run wide like that. And luckily, Middleton was able to hold on to his car, and we didn't see any big spin like we've seen in the past, and only lost a couple positions because of the mistake.
There's a lot of elevation changes off corners, into corners, that sort of thing. So the typical weight transfer that you see in these cars, going to the front under braking, going to the rear under acceleration, doesn't necessarily happen the way you expect it to due to all the elevation changes. So Mid-Ohio really does require a very unique adaptation of your driving style. Something I have sometimes, but a lot of the time it's just not there. It's really kind of a black art, at least from my point of view. Man, it looks dark.
I quite like it. It's something different because normally we have bright sunny days, so something different. Always nice to change things up every now and then.
Yeah, back in my kart racing days, more often than not, we'd be racing in weather similar to this, if not all-out rain, so...
Rain. Sounds fun.
Perhaps, yes, in real life. Basically what happens is your suit gets wet, you get wet and cold, and it's not a very comfortable experience. Nor is it comfortable driving because your car or cart is trying to kill you at all times.
That doesn't sound fun to you?
It is in a way. Definitely love the challenge of it. But yeah, it's not the... Oh, that's in the background. That's Keith Horner Jr. He's off the track sideways. I don't think he hit anything, but he was sideways coming out of turn 1. Luckily, people were able to avoid him there. Lauren Bateman is stalking Timothy Stoll. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, definitely looks quicker at the moment. He was taking better lines through the... Ooh, and I think that was Oversteer Stoll was dealing with as he exited into Thunder Valley, but Middleton seems to be a little bit more under control, taking the better line through some of these corners. You can see he's really closed up the gap at the moment.
Middleton.
Bateman, I don't know why I said Middleton. Sorry, Lauren Bateman in the golf car, the only golf car here. Why I would have said Middleton, I don't know.
Anyway, so we have Tim Stoll here. Looks like Jeremy Morsdorf is able to get past, no problem. Now back to Jeremy Burris, who is chasing down Daniel Peroni. He's about a second behind him right now. Oh. He's heading for the pits. Maybe. Probably not intentionally, obviously, but he's off the track, and he's continuing on, it looks like. It's going to cost him a lot of time there. That's a difficult carousel there. Turns 12 and 13. Or turn 12, I guess, more correctly. There's one thing about Mid-Ohio I'm not quite sure of is, do they just name the corner sections, or are the actual corners named? Because turn 4 is the entrance to China Beach, and I assume turns 5 and 6 are also part of China Beach, and therefore, Thunder Valley being, or the S's and Thunder Valley and that sort of thing, but I think they just refer to the sections of track, do they not necessarily the corners?
Yeah, I think. I mean, according to this track map, China Beach looks to be that very large sand trap, bunker. Those are golf terms, but whatever. The sand there.
The beach.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then the S's, obviously, that's the S's. Everyone knows that. Thunder Valley would be that little dip there between 9 and 10, so that makes sense. I think you're right. It's more the section of the track rather than an actual corner.
A lot of my colleagues on here, Tim Stoll, I believe in particular, is very, very familiar with the Mid-Ohio sports car course in real life, doing some marshalling here, and it's one of those tracks. It's not too far from where I live, and I just love to go to a good race weekend, be it the United Sports Car, IndyCar, or something like that. Maybe both. If they have it on the same weekend, that'd be awesome. It seems like a really good track to, camp around, walk around the track, and really experience some good racing. Is Middleton.
That's close.
Oh, Dr. Middleton doing an exam there on Marty Jeffries.
I believe it will be ALMS at the time, and IndyCar did have a joint weekend here. I want to say it was 2012. Could have been a year before, but they have done it. So maybe the United Sports Car Series, something like that. Oh, someone's off.
Who's on there, isn't it? Yep.
Indeed, it was. Yeah. Don't see him making a mistake all that often.
Yeah, Mid-Ohio not on their schedule for next year, but maybe in 2015.
Yeah, they have a kind of a transitional year, both the series, IndyCar and United Sports Car, kind of a transitional year where they figure out what venues they'll be racing at and when. Oh, look at that. Anthony Muniz is right back up with Andy Fuller. Andy Fuller had built up about an 8-second lead, and that's not there anymore.
Brian Carey also there, just about a second and a half back or so.
And for some reason, Anthony has dropped off for timing and scoring, but I know he's there because I can see him. Hopefully that'll correct itself next time he comes around.
On board with John Kelly, he's made his way back up to 13th position, right on the back of Tim McLeish. So it seems that his car is relatively undamaged, and he's able to maintain a good race pace. So we'll see him battling here with the McLeish and Snyder here.
Tim is really driving the wheels off that McLaren there. You can see it, especially through this Thunder Valley section, really kicking the tail out. He's able to keep it on the track, but I think Lauren Bateman's kind of biding his time, waiting for Tim to make a mistake and seeing if he can capitalize on that. It's tough to make a clean pass when he's going that fast, and also not 100% sure where he's going to be coming out of the exit of a corner. So see how turn 1 is for him.
Hey, Anthony's back. So that means Tim McLeish really is in 12th here. And it's behind Lance Snyder.
Oh,
He's got a good run on it. Lance is stuck behind traffic, and Tim's not going to stick a nose in. John Kelly also caught up with them. John Kelly is going to stick a nose in there, though. I don't know if he can make it stick, no problem.
Wow, that was nice. Tim McLeish giving him some space there, but that was a bold move by Kelly, trying to come back after some earlier incidents. Or at least one earlier incident. Don't necessarily imply that there was more than one, I'm not sure.
Well, it was one big one there, the spin in China Beach, but he seems to be recovering from that fairly well. Seems to have the pace
cool
over.
Shot.
That is a cool shot.
Well, he's putting the spurs to her right now. He's trying to take a move on Lance Snyder here. I don't know if he's going to get it done right now, but he's going to have a good chance of going. There we go. Is it close enough? Oh, Snyder gives him some room, but just enough, and able to hold on to the place. See, actually, that I want to point that out right there. What Lance Snyder did there was fantastic racing, because he knew that Kelly had a run. He could have tried to shut the door on the inside, but that would have put him offline. Oh, Chambliss going off a little bit. But basically what he did is he turned in, gave Kelly enough room, knowing he wasn't going to complete the pass cleanly. Didn't shut the door on him. Basically just gave him just enough room to survive the corner, but not be able to pass him anymore. So, I mean, that was don't need to block to keep someone behind you. It was just a good bit of racecraft from Lance Snyder there. Corner Junior off the game to the side.
Yep.
Or is it Jeffries? Murray Jeffries.
That was Jeffries.
Hard to tell at that speed. Very similar paint schemes. 44, 47 in both Sim Racing Nation.
On board with Brian Carey.
Traffic holding them both up, really. And all they'll do is be able to get by, but Muniz gets the better line through corner 1, and you can see him just taking off.
Yeah, it's definitely looks more significant when you see it from that camera angle. Doesn't seem so much when you're actually in the car.
Oh, it did from my point.
Oh, no!
That was huge. What just happened?
It looked like Marty Jeffries went off the track just a little bit there, and John Kelly got into him and sent him barrel rolling. I think maybe one of the
Snyder too. Huh?
Yep, Snyder was on the outside of turn 5, so he'd have the inside for turn 6 to get the pass done. Oversteer coming out of the corner, which turned him basically sideways right in front of Jeffries, and it collected Jeffries and John Kelly, unfortunately.
Man, I'd love to have replay features for stuff like that.
Someday, maybe. The problem is that one would have had to be a manual one, because it never would have known that we wanted to see that in more detail. So I'd have to have it set to record a whole... I could do it. It would be complicated.
I remember suggesting that people, if there's any interesting moments of the race, they could just, send short clips of replays, and Dan could, splice it in at the appropriate time of the broadcast, but...
That actually
sounds like
having done one of these, because of the file formats and everything like that, for them to work, they have to be in one that might not be quite as universal as some of the video editors like.
That can be converted.
Okay. I didn't bother trying that, which maybe I should have, but...
At some time, perhaps in the future. Right now, we've got ourselves a pretty damn good broadcast set up and an interesting battle. As you can see, Brent Bryles in the hump, he's slicing his way through Lauren Bateman and Timothy Stahl. running wide again. That's the one thing with the LMPs too, going the inside of cars into turn 2. They can get there pretty good, but just the nature of the way the track cambers and elevation changes and all that in turn 2, braking from the inside there you end up running a little wider than you think you're otherwise going to go. Because instead of using the banking or the way the track moves to kind of help your turn in, it's basically just falling away from you just when you need to turn in when you're on the inside, and you end up losing grip at the front. Lauren Bateman's car there, the Golf 4 GT, looks like a shark just coming after Tim Stoll.
Oh, and Stoll's off a little bit there going into Thunder Valley, but manages to keep just enough speed to stay in front of Lauren Bateman as they made their way into turn 11.
It looks like that shark with no teeth, or like a whale with a big old mouth. Just collecting krill.
That's awesome. So Tim Stoll is the krill in
yes.
Lauren Bateman's indiscriminate destruction.
And you can see, well, any of the McLarens, it's hard to see on these darker colored ones, but they're kind of smiling in front.
So,
looks like a whale eating its krill.
So Tim Stoll as the krill is just teasing the big blue whale of Bateman as he's running out in front, like, "Ha! You can't catch me."
Yeah, it's all fun and games, and there's some Asian-based whaling show.
Oh, hey, we've got the rear view shot here with the wing. That's another new camera angle.
I don't know what we're looking at, but we got it.
Be better if we were one car forward. Oh, that's why. There we go.
Tim Stoll went off, and now we get to see now the happy whatever, the krill.
Happy krill.
Because he didn't get eaten by the shark, he just got passed. Looks like I'm about to do something really interesting.
Yeah, you're about to get right to my rear wing. Let's make our way through the S's. Couple McLarens just up in front of us. Oh, there's somebody oversteering.
But because of traffic, there's just no opportunity for Brian to get by. Interesting choice there on the inside. Oh, I still don't see Kerry choosing to try to get as much acceleration out of the corner as he can. Seeing Nino is still caught up with traffic, having to go side by side. The better battle here is between Mike Young and Chuck Chambliss.
Don't think it is, because that's a battle for second, but that's okay.
Yeah, but you're not as close.
Yeah,
well, it's close enough.
The maths don't
I think the significance of the position should factor in better.
He did, yeah, because Chambliss went really wide in turn 2, and I think he was in the tires there.
There we go. Yeah, I think the higher the position is, the higher it should be ranked as far as priority.
Well, it is. It's just it weights it. It adds extra points.
I demand more points.
More points for us.
Speaking of more points for us, we're going to be following this battle for the better part of a lap in a bit here.
I remember that. That was a close encounter there with some traffic.
Was that Luke?
It was, yeah. Slow on you saw Brian have to cut wide there as we made our way into turn 9? Yeah, turn 9 going into Thunder Valley, because I had to brake more because Luke a little bit slower to the apex of turn 9 than I was expecting.
Luke does not have the mark of death on the side of his car for no reason.
Interesting. Brian a little bit more of a shallow line going into turn number 2. I was a little bit wider.
Yeah, that was actually one thing I noticed when I was falling behind you in particular, that, for the most part, especially in practice, that line was keeping me the same deltas as both yourself and Andy, but when I finally saw behind there, it was a lot different, but it just, because you gain a lot of the entry, and if you get the car rotated properly, you'll get okay in the exit. Your overall exit speed won't be much faster. It'll actually be a little bit slower, but you'll get through the corner quick enough that the difference to the end of the straightaway will be pretty much identical. Also, I found there's a larger margin for error there because if I went a little bit too hot, I had more track to save me than if I tried to do a late apex and braked a little late, then basically I go right to the edge of the track and I'd be off. So,
Yeah, and that's probably the smart thing to do as well when you're following someone, because these cars do get a decent amount of aero wash when you're right behind someone.
I'm in the lead.
Yep. Andy was, as Brian has to take evasive action to try and get around Timothy Stoll here, who was kind of in the middle of the track as they were also lapping a back marker LMP2 car. I'm not sure who it is. Luckily, everyone got out of that one, I think.
That's one of those situations where you're presented with a couple of options, both terrible.
Exactly.
It was cool to get out of that one.
Yeah, Andy Fuller had a spin in the carousel, I believe. So, and I don't, no, he didn't pit, but he did lose a couple spots because he was only maybe 5 seconds in front of our battle. So we both got passed, and I made a stop just after halfway, so that would put you in the lead.
He's 43 seconds back right now, so I'm pretty sure he came into the pits when he made that spin.
Okay, yep, that's what he did then.
Keith Horner Jr. getting by Luke Poulin, but I don't know if Keith has pitted yet.
I don't believe he has. Oh, there's Mr. Fuller.
There we go. Andy with his proper paint scheme now and some camera time, so good to see that.
So he's come out in 6th, but he'll pretty quickly rise up as other people have completed their stops.
Great drift there going into turn number 5.
Knowing Andy as I do, he's probably driving mad right now that he made a mistake, so he's trying to make up all the time he lost in a few corners.
And he's on those very cold tires. It's only been a lap or two since he's made his pit stop, so be a couple more before the tires get up to what their peak temperature will be.
Yeah, just letting you know, in the Kaiser Run Sport Garage here for the HPD, Andy is the setup guru for this car. He will... basically, he's run the servers for quite a number of seasons, so he has some pretty darn good base setups. And we arrive at a track, we make just very little base changes, kind of suit our driving style, and then wait for race day to find out what the weather is going to be, and then try to do the best here. And tell you from my experience here, for race day, Andy and Anthony got her right as far as temperature setup, and for some reason I didn't quite have it. Okay lap speed and able to catch up with Anthony in traffic, but was fighting that bad boy.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the weather wasn't all that different from practice 1 to actual race day. Winds were still about the same. I think it was 14 kilometers an hour, but the direction was slightly different. But still, for some reason, the cars were quite a bit, well, not quite a bit, but quite a bit in, relative to this car, quite a bit slower. So interesting to see how the drivers were able to deal with that, because times were well down into the 1 minute 11s on full race fuel in P1. So,
oh geez, Fuller just passing Brent Briles there. Briles made a small mistake going wide, and Fuller just drove straight past him, not even bother to say hello.
And that is technically for position. Briles yet to make his pit stop. Ryan Huff just coming out of the pits there in 6th position. He was up in 4th place, I believe, before pit stop started happening. So we'll see where he cycles through.
As Anthony mentioned there, like I said, Brent Briles hadn't made his pit stop here, so they are fighting for position in a way, although they're not really necessarily fighting with each other on the track, because obviously when Brett makes his pit stop, he's going to drop a long way behind where Andy is anyway. However, when going a little bit longer in pit stop there, even though you're not racing directly with them, you can't just lift off, especially if you're in a battle with someone else that hasn't made their pit stop, or even if they had, because the margins are so thin in this car that if you backed off just to let another car by, like he was lapping you, which he isn't at that time, then that's more time than you're kind of willing to just give up intentionally. So the battles tend to be a little bit more fierce, but also a little bit kind of hard to judge, because sometimes they're not going to fight you as hard as they normally would. That being said, they're not going to let you by as easily as if you're lapping them, so you find yourself a little bit of a kind of awkward gray area. You see Anthony slicing through some traffic there. That's Daniel Burness chasing down his Turn 1 Heroes colleague, Timothy Stoll. trying not to say anything nice about Daniel because whenever I do, something bad happens. So looking like he's really sucking it up right now, just soiling the sheets driving around. Hopefully that helps.
Gets Lauren Bateman just up in front of him, looking to put a lap on a couple backmarker GTs. But you can see they are actually closing up to them pretty quickly. But they both kind of got slowed up there as Stoll went a little bit off track there at the exit of turn 9. But they had closed up well over a second and a half on Bateman. We'll see how he's able to get through traffic. Here's Ryan Huff.
Great shot in turn 11 there. The speed is fantastic.
It is, yeah. Definitely is, yep. And he is right on the back of Bryles now. Remember, he has yet to make his pit stop. Oh, and Stoll, they're nearly losing it. That was a great save to correct that car and not go flying into the tires there.
Looks like I've managed to lead a number of laps here, staying out much longer in my tank, but I'm in the pits right now. Brian Carey, number 79.
Ooh, and a big mess of different class cars here. Verness is going to look to try and get by Stoll there on the turn 5 on the inside, and I think he's going to have it. Let's see, there's a backmarker McLaren just up in front, and Stoll trying to take advantage of that. He's on the inside of Verness now, heading into turn 9. Makes a dive up on the inside to put the lap on that car, and takes second position back from Verness.
So many cars in that shot there. I think I saw a Jeep fire vehicle in there. Making good time, too. Oh, and after the pit stops, looks like Anthony Muniz is your new leader.
Yay.
Lauren Bateman still a few seconds up the road of this battle here. Oh, look at this.
Oh,
awesome.
my goodness.
So many cars.
I think Jeremy Burrs there in the LMP2 car may have had to go slightly off track to avoid, similar to Brian Carey, just a number of laps earlier, but everyone does manage to get through.
That was a cool shot of Tim McLeish, just his headlight waiting in Tim Stoll's rearview or side mirror there, and once he hit the speed, him flying by and passing a few cars. You can see him in the green and blue car pit. Tim Stoll taking a bizarre line into trying to beach there. He's going to have to slow down a little bit because that'll be a corner cutting penalty.
Yes, unfortunately, if you use the real mirrors on the McLaren, we don't have the 2012 or 2013 spec upgrade for the 12C, so we don't have the different mirrors and the internal rear view camera, so you can actually see what's going on behind you better rather than just have a firewall there.
Keeping you guessing is fun, but you can see Tim's really battling that car right now at this stage of the race. That rear end does not seem to be going where he wants it to. He is into the pits. He must have had a long run on those tires there because...
Yep. He and Bateman also into the pits. Bateman in from P1. Oh, and here is Andy Fuller, who is now pit stops have all cycled through. He is right with Brian Carey. You can see him just up the road in the blue car. So after the spin, Fuller down to third place, about 1.5 seconds back from Brian Carey. So decent amount of time lost there because of the spin at the carousel.
I can tell you, rear visibility is for suckers.
Okay, then.
No need to know what's going on behind you. Just keep your face facing ahead.
Well, that
They'll
was
get
me
out of
off
the
the
way.
track. You didn't quite see it, but I was way off.
Carousel?
Oh, wait, maybe I wasn't. Nope. No, I'm
No,
not
there
off.
you are.
No,
Right there.
you're totally on track.
I'm totally not going to go off.
Yeah, that was not
I
a
didn't
spoiler in
hear
any
anything.
way.
Nope, totally going to stay here the rest
You
of the
heard
race. You guys,
nothing.
you might as well shut this off right now because this is how it's finished. Seriously, turn it off now.
That probably, you probably should keep watching. just to prove Brian wrong, probably.
And to laugh at him. Because it sounds like something good's coming.
Do 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 do.
Well, now the anticipation's killing me.
I know, me too.
When's it gonna happen?
Only 13 seconds left. Right now, I think Brian Carey doing a nice job of keeping Andy Fuller, who has a number 22 for some reason on his car, doing a good job keeping him behind him.
3 more seconds, we're not gonna see it.
But here's Ryan Huff.
He's
on
in
board.
4th and not too far behind.
Look at that.
Hey, there he is! Look, it's Brian Carey. He's totally off.
Oh dear. Wow. That moves Ryan Huff up to 3rd. Brian Carey all the way back to 4th now. But he's got a big gap between himself and Jeremy Burris, so maybe he'll catch up.
Now, what we couldn't see there was, did you hit the wall?
Yeah, what happened was just kind of a sequence of events there. My in-lap, entering the pits, I did a 360, but a quick one. Oh no! Was that Daniel knocking Chuck off the track? Did you just
John Kuzland, I believe. Was it?
Yeah, actually, no, that
that's
was
John
no. So
Kuzland.
I can tell you, it was me running into him, but he lost control himself, and I tried to stop, but couldn't avoid him.
Killed
There
Chuck.
you go. There you go. First
camera
hand account.
But yes, like I was saying, my sequence of events. My pit entry, I did a quick 360 on the entrance, which probably cost me about 2 seconds, which for sure cost me the lead to Anthony. I mean, I'm probably
Yeah,
still behind
because
him, but
I think I had about 2.5 seconds to you exiting the pits, so that definitely would have been much closer exiting the pit lane had you
would have been a
not
little
spun.
close. Yep, and then about 2 laps after that, I had another spin at the carousel. Another 360, didn't hit anything. As you can see there, that time I decided that I might as well just nose it into the barrier because I hadn't done it properly the first 2 times. So one thing I'd always learned, if you don't do something wrong the first time, try again until you do it. Wait, no, that wasn't the lesson I was supposed to learn. I'll have to work on that for the next race.
And here we have Tim McLeish behind Victor Beltran. And it says Brent Bryles, but I don't think that's right. So there's a car in between them. Oh, that is probably lap traffic. That's probably what that is. I mean, it's either Dolgen or Arthur, but I can't tell
Hard to tell because they're identical.
Yeah.
Guys, mix up your paints.
Well, it's not Arthur. Arthur Hermont is showing 6, so it's got to be Dolgen Boldrin.
But that's Daniel Benefield right there, isn't it? No, it's Beltran?
Yeah, it's Beltran.
It's
in front.
Beltran.
Yep.
Okay, never mind then. Yeah. I thought Dolgen had retired by this point, so that's why I'm confused. Oh, and there's
Oh
Stephen
my
Clark.
goodness. In the middle of the road, there you go, Clark. Get well out of the way so no one else runs into you.
Aside from losing some time, it looks like he got away with that, no damage.
Yeah, this carousel section we're entering right now is very awkward to have cars coming up at you. Because you spin, you're more than likely the track snakes around enough and there's enough elevation, you end up in the middle of the track, sideways and backwards in a blind corner, and that's always
That was
good.
Bryles into the pits, which is very odd. I don't think the car could run this long, so either he miscalculated fuel and figured it out pretty early, or he's in to repair damage.
Or he had an early pit stop, and it's just this is where the fuel ran out for a second stop. Or he's just saying, screw you guys, I'll pit when I want. There's Anthony coming behind John Kuzla. Watch this. This is what this camera was made for right here.
Not
It's gonna be
much
sweet.
longer.
Oh no!
Damn it, come on.
Wow.
This is so awesome.
I've hardly got to see my new paint livery.
Yeah, like you didn't spend like 3 days working on that.
I actually only spent a couple hours working on it. It's just coming up with the idea that I spent 3 days on.
Ah, yes. What is it based off of? Because I assume you based it off something.
It's sort of like the Rebellion LMP1 car, which I believe is a Lola
that's a big dust
chassis.
up.
Ooh, yeah. But they got
That's
away
okay.
with it. I believe that's Beltran up there. Oh no, we're on with Beltran, so I'm not sure who that is just up in front.
Benefield. No?
Ah.
Yes.
Or is that you?
McLeish. That's me? That must be me.
No, it's not. Is it? I don't think it was.
It might
No,
be
it's
someone
right there.
else. Couple
That's
offs in the
Benefield.
carousel.
Yeah, that's him. It was Benefield.
All right.
So, just getting back to my point. Yeah, it's sort of based off of the Rebellion. I believe they use a Lola chassis, but it's branded a Lotus, so it's kind of similar to the F1 car as well.
Yeah, it looks almost. I was just thinking, it looks like they're the GP2 paint scheme
Oh, does it? I don't know if I've actually seen the
or GP3, one of them. I think they're similar, but no,
Okay.
this is off. China Beach, a little bit of dirt in his tires. Cutting across the
Let's
track.
see, he's going to collect anyone on the way back? Nope.
Looks good.
Got it clean.
Stephen Clark just patiently watching to make sure he didn't explode in front of him. You shouldn't make fun of exploding because Mark Webber is having an excellent season in Formula One. His last Formula One season, nothing wrong has happened to him this year.
Nope, it's all gone perfectly right. It hasn't been able to win a race, but
Yeah. Vettel's won like 4 in a row now, 5 in a row.
6.
Has he burst into flames 2 races in a row? I don't think so. Therefore, Mark Webber is better because his car can literally catch on fire 2 races consecutively.
That's some pretty good talent right there.
That's how they roll in Australia.
Shrimp on the Barbie, as they say.
Except it's Shrimp, it's his multi-million-dollar Formula One car that should never ever have to burst into flames.
I can tell you die a little on the inside every time it happens.
Me?
Well, yeah. I can just see you like, no, instead of torching it, you could have given it to me.
No, I remember it was Singapore because my mother, who's also a Mark Webber fan, actually get to sit down and watch a race together. And towards the end of the race, she's like, "How's Mark doing?" I'm like, "Well, his car's on fire." It's like, "Yep, that tends to happen."
Yep.
And speaking of cars on fire, Jeremy Burst is on fire because he's catching right up to Brian Carey, who's damaged. And even though you can't, yes, you can.
Yeah, you
it's
can.
over on his driver's left there, and Burst is by.
That should not be costing me that much speed. That damage there you can see barely on the front of the car is down this straightaway here is literally costing me 21 kilometers an hour.
Well,
Yeah, but isn't that
Sort
like
of.
a mile and a half an hour?
no, that's more than that. It's a lot more than that.
That's jab the kilometers.
21
Yes.
would be approximately. Hold on a second here.
21
around
kilometers an
9,
hour equals
10.
2 miles an hour.
It actually equals 13 miles an hour. So
Yeah, there you go. That's
Sorry, I
quite a
went
bit.
the other way. Yeah, I went the wrong way.
Well, if you're going based purely on how it looks, you do have a significant part of the nose pointing upward. So
it's not in the
you
shape
could
of a
almost
parachute.
you could almost be creating lift if the other side was equally damaged.
Yeah, but that would push the rear wheels down into the pavement more. That'd make them go faster, right?
But then the nose would flip up, and you'd have the Mercedes at Le Mans all over again.
If
Oh, by the
only
way,
we
that
could do
thing
that.
was Mark Webber.
It was.
which one did that? Yeah. I mean, Peter.
Actually, I think it was a
had the
couple
famous
of them. I think a couple of them flipped, but yeah.
Well, 2 of them were Mark Webber.
Were they
One-
both? Were they him both times? I thought that was a
in
different
practice.
driver.
No,
Oh.
Peter Dumbrick did the one in the race where they have actual video of it.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't have the actual video of Mark Webber's because he was in practice, and back then they didn't have a billion cameras everywhere. Yeah, it definitely happened to him twice, to where he said, basically, pardon my French, but F this, I'm not doing this anymore, and decided to go to open wheel racing. And he's come full circle now because after his car has exploded 19 races in a row,
He's at F
saying
this,
the
I'm not
same
doing
thing.
this
I'm going back
anymore.
to sports cars. Nothing's ever gone wrong in sports cars.
Oh no. Nothing bad happened in 2011. Or all other years, but 2011 was pretty bad.
Is that the McNish whoopsie daisy?
And the Mike Rockefeller one,
Oh yeah, that's right. The one that was in the dark.
which is much worse, I would say, because there was nothing left of the car.
Yeah, I remember there being a flash of light, some squealing, and then a shower of debris in front of the stationary camera.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. And all of that debris was the entire car. Well, except for, I shouldn't say the entire car, because they did make monosail or the monocoque that they have there did survive. But everything around that was the debris that you saw flying in front of the camera.
Yeah, which is, to be fair, exactly what they are designed to do.
Yep.
But
That's like that Lamborghini that sheared in half. Did you see the pictures?
I don't know if I've ever seen that, no.
oh, what the
Yeah, it was
road
pretty
one.
recent.
It wasn't a
Yeah,
racing
was
thing. It was just
no, it was like, I think it was in New York City.
Oh.
And yeah, the Lambo driver did something dumb, ran into a wall, and the entire back half of the car came off.
No. Honestly, it wasn't the driver, the Lambo driver that ran into the wall. Another car hit the Lamborghini that was parked there and destroyed it. Like just knocked it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess everyone just assumed it was a
Oh,
bad
Mike
Lambo
Young.
driver, and wow,
Jeremy
Mike Young
Burris.
spun it. And
Stuart
saved
Burris
it.
nearly cut his car in half. Luckily, he just barely missed.
Man, that was how close to me getting another place back there. That was could have done a better job there, Mike, and helping me out.
But as long as we're talking about Ron, can we talk a moment about the French camera people and how on a
lazy they are?
24-hour race? I mean, come on, it's not like they have to do this often. It's one 24-hour race a year. Can they not stay through the whole thing?
You know, I would just volunteer to say, yeah, oh, you're going to take a break? That's okay. I will stay and continue operating my camera.
What happened? Did they shut down some cameras or something?
Oh, yeah, they take a big, long break starting, what is it, Dan?
And all you get is the couple stationaries.
Yep.
Yeah, here's the thing: is I am long since past the point where I'm able to stay up for the entire 24 hours. Actually, speaking of which, the first 24-hour race I watched pretty much in its entirety when Speed was Speed Vision and as a new channel was when Mark flipped his car, and I remember sitting there. I don't know how old I was at the time, probably like 19 or 20 or something like that, but waking up early to turn this on and watch it, and I'm kind of in a delirious state, and then, sorry, Peter Dumbrick flipping his car, not Mark at this time, but seeing a Mercedes about 20, 30 feet in the air for no other reason than, because, and thinking, I really need to wake up right now. I thought I was going to wake up to watch this race. Like, that totally didn't happen. It's not with my eyes, didn't happen. It took me about...
You're still dreaming.
It was a good 15 minutes before I came to the conclusion that, nope, that actually happened, and I am, in fact, awake. Kind of like the, I don't know if you guys remember back, well, Anthony maybe not, but Dan perhaps, the 1994 German Grand Prix when Jos Verstappen had that, there's Dan picking up position, nope, not picking up position, just locking Tim.
Yeah.
What a sweet move. But yeah, Jos Verstappen having that pit fire in Germany, which looked like an all-holy explosion. That was a massive fireball.
Yeah, I didn't, of course I didn't see it live because I was 3, but I've seen, the YouTube videos of it.
I'm old. Anyways, that was another early morning, because this is when I lived in Alberta, so watching an F1 race in the morning meant getting up at 5 o'clock, so...
Well, it's still kind of early now. For a Sunday, it's a little early for us if you want to watch it live.
Yep, well, especially Korea and now Japan will be pretty brutal. I just, luckily,
I just stayed up for Korea. I just stayed up. Because it started at, qualifying started at 1 and the race started at 2 for me, so I said, it's a Sunday. Well, it's actually a Saturday, technically. So, well, no, technically it was a Sunday. I don't know what I'm saying. I stayed up, that's what I did. Maybe I shouldn't have stayed up, maybe then I would be able to talk.
I think it's a delicious meal you had at the beginning of the broadcast. It really...
Yeah, it was delicious.
As you can see, the racing action here is we have Daniel Croney making some moves and doing some stuff, and cars are being passed and whatnot.
I'm stuck.
He is, he's trying to get past these, technically they're not really back markers, they're in the top 10. He's trying to get past Beltran here in front, he's in 9th, but they are on a different lap. The actual car that Qualroni is battling with is Arthur Hermont, the gray, I don't know what their team is called, it's got 8s in it, but it's that gray car just up in front of Beltran that he's trying to get to.
Something to do with numbers, I don't know.
Yeah, something.
We just work
I think
here.
that's, yeah, exactly. I think that's why their numbers are 8 and 80, I believe. The other one. Ooh, Qualroni really trying to get by. That was actually pretty dangerous there by Beltran to put his brakes on there and let him by. Luckily, quick reaction time by Dan. able
Wow,
to get
that
by,
was-
and he's also gained a decent amount of time on Hermont.
Okay, now we've got a battle. I just said before a little conversation. That is, first of all, Dan, tip of the hat, because that was a fantastic pass on both those cars there. And now you're right up with Arthur Hermont, and this is a battle for 7th position. And this battle is on. This is by far the closest battle on the track right now.
Especially in GT3.
I mean, not GT3.
Well, yeah, especially not in GT3. 46 seconds separating. Oh, and Quaroni taking a peek to the inside. Briefly 3 wide going into turn number 3, or 4 rather, I guess it is. But Hermont manages to just barely hold on there as Quaroni puts on some heavy pressure, sticking right to the rear wing of his car. A bit more traffic coming up. I believe it's one of the SRN McLarens, so we'll see if Quaroni can take advantage of that, or hopefully not get stuck behind him as they make their way through Thunder Valley.
Oh, no, and we're back. Now we have another battle. Tim McLeish and Victor Beltran. This is a battle for 9th, so the battle behind the other battle being separated by a lap. So it's not a battle for 7th through 10th. It's a battle for 7th and 8th, and 9th and 10th very, very distinctly. I can't make that point strongly enough. No, I think that'll do the trick. Anyways, Tim McLeish is doing some quick moves there around Keith Warner Jr. Stuck on the inside for turn 1, so it's going to cost him some time coming down the straightaway here, but still battling hard to get that 9th position. And Dan Crony still battling hard as we're now on board with him right now, heading down the straightaway towards turn 4 in China Beach. We only have on there's a that's all right. We'll excuse that pylon. Don't clear out of the way there. But I'm sawing at the wheel there. Like this is doesn't have a lot to lose right now. He's only way to go is forward right now, and he's got stalking him again with the stalking, hunting, trailing, other
adjectives
synonyms
like that.
Yes. Pursuing.
Oh, that was close there. Tim Stoll ran a
Soiling
bit
of
wide.
shorts. Tim Stoll wondering what's happening right now, and there he goes. That's the car's passed. Tim Stoll holding on to 3rd place right now in the GTs, and he's about 21 seconds back at the leader, Daniel Verness, but no, wait, a minute and 12 seconds
No,
back.
21. Yeah, that's right. 21 seconds back from
more.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, here we go. Daniel Crony, he's got a move lined up on Beltran. He's got the draft, but he didn't get a good enough run into turn 2, so...
he's so close, though. And he's going to have to dive to the outside for turn 4. He's alongside, a bit later under braking. Able to keep it alongside going into the next corner. Can he get the momentum out? Because they're still side by side.
Huge move on the outside there. That was... that could have easily ended with him in the wall there, but he held on. It looks like he's held on to the place. Yes, no. Yes, he's held on to the place. So it looks like these guys will be coming up to... Oh, I don't know. Maybe they have this lap and another. I don't know where Anthony is. Anthony's still leading the race by about 12 seconds over Andy, and looks like they will have this lap.
One more because I'm a minute something in front of these guys, so they have one more lap. Oh, look at this, Brian Carey.
Yeah. That was a cool shot.
He's got Daniel Benefield just behind. These guys are fighting for position. Remember, Brian Carey fighting with that damage.
And white flag is out.
Yep, is going to be able to hold on to that for now. These guys fighting for the final top 5 position in LMP2.
And Luke Poulin. Oh no, Luke Poulin is slow. Luke Poulin in 4th place is slow. Why is he slow? Oh, he's letting someone by, maybe.
Is he? I do hear another...
Mike Young is on the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Young has him. I don't know. Looks like he's struggling for pace, so maybe gas. Maybe he ran wide at a corner. I'm not sure, but well, after that middle 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh no! Yeah, indeed. That was a little bit of a tap.
And the mark of death has now been imprinted on Mike Young's car. Luke is coming for you.
And Benefield is coming for Brian Carey at the moment. Carey desperately trying to hold on, but that missing 21 kilometers an hour down these straightaways is going to be pretty hard to defend. Benefield's able to actually get a pretty. Ooh, I can say he's still got a pretty good run despite running wide, exiting turn 2. He's going to be alongside, and I think pass because Brian Carey just doesn't quite have the speed speed for it.
Speaking of which,
And
Anthony
Muniz wins.
taking his first ever overall win in any iRacing race, so that's awesome for Anthony. So virtual high five as we do it across.
Oh yeah, because I've only won in the lower classes before, so never been the overall winner. And here's the other winner in GT3, Daniel Verness, crossing and winning by 50 seconds in GT3.
Here's Mike Kim coming across. I'd like to point out that I won the last race, Anthony won this race, and we never saw us cross the finish line. So, Director, you're on notice. And there
was the pass. You guys were complaining because there were all these great passes going on, and we were watching people cross the finish. So, yeah, switched it up. So unless there's really nothing happening, it'll show.
Well, when we win, then you should revert to the previous version, so we can see our cars.
Got it.
At least the class leaders we should see. Everyone else we don't need to see finish, except unless it's Daniel Coroni.
Oh, and actually he was able to get by Arthur Hermont, but we didn't see it somewhere.
Sure, it was spectacular.
Yeah, that one I think happened right around when we were watching the Benefield. Oh, Carey, okay. Sorry, this happened sooner than I thought it would. So Brian Carey leading the points now, ahead of Andy Fuller. Doldrin is 4 points down from Brian in third place. Ryan Huff in fourth. Arthur Hermont in fifth. Jeremy Burst in sixth. Anthony Muniz seventh. Daniel Quaroni eighth. Victor Beltran 9th, and Daniel Santos in 10th. Then in GT3, Daniel Verness is leading with a 2-score win perfect record. Warren Bateman's just 2 points down from him, though, so still strong pressure there. Timothy Stoll in 3rd. John Middleton and Daniel Gralty tied 4th, 5th. Mike Young is in 6th. Matthew Voigt 7th. Luke Poulin 8th. John Kusa 9th, and Marty Jeffers in the 10th spot right now. We're going to watch the cars make their way around on their outlaps, and in a moment we'll have our schedule come up, but I think a pretty successful race here at Mid-Ohio, lots of action.
Yeah, that last 7 minutes, 5, however long it was. Oh no, and Daniel Verness.
Daniel Verness celebrating in style.
That's how we do it. All right, so we're moving on next week to Watkins Glen. We just ran that 2 days ago, so we got that. Then we have a holiday break. Thank you, Daniel Gralty, for allowing Canadians Thanksgiving, which is on the 14th. So we're moving on to Silverstone, which is another 90-minute race on the 21st. Long Beach is street track for the first time ever. I'm really excited about that. And
yes,
down
indeed.
the schedule, you can see the remaining races there we'll be doing throughout the year. So, good race. We have, different winners, I think, in a lot of these classes here. At least in the LMP, we have 3 races, 3 different winners. So, it's wide open in the LMPs. GTs, I honestly haven't been paying enough attention to know, but I think Daniel,
Yep, he's had 2 wins so far, so he does have a bit of a margin over everyone else.
All right, well, tune in next week and you'll see what happens at Watkins Glen. As always, thank you to Brian Carey and Anthony Muniz for their outstanding commentary, and to you for watching, and of course, to our racers and admins here at ISRA League. If you're not one of them, it's time to start asking yourself, why not? Why not me? We'll see you again, hopefully on the track, next week. Good night.